Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily podcast, where every day we delve into the impact of technology in everything from business to society. A quick shout out to We Got Your Mac. It is a fantastic podcast I'm listening to at the moment, brought to you by SHI. And they explore the world of Mac adoption in the enterprise and discuss the amazing benefits and unique challenges that come with it. So tune into We Got Your Mac wherever you listen to your podcast, or visit wegotyourmac.com. There's a treasure trove of episodes and valuable resources over there. So please don't miss this opportunity to gain insights and make more informed decisions, especially if you're looking to embrace the power of the Mac. But today we've got a very special episode lined up here on Tech Talks Daily, and that's why we're here, because we're going to take a deep dive into the world of supply chain technology and its evolving landscape. Because joining me today is Darcy MacClaren, the Chief Revenue Officer for Global Supply Chain at SAP. And Darcy brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation today. We're going to explore how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing supply chain operations, but also enhancing risk resilience and responding to the increasing demands for sustainability and efficiency. I think we're all a little guilty of taking the global supply chain for granted, but I'd love to find out more about the technology, how it's solving problems in the supply chain, in everything from predictive analytics for demand planning to the transformative use of AI in freight order deliveries and warehouse management. Yes, we're going to take a look under the hood, and hopefully Darcy will also offer an insider's view on how AI is shaping the future of supply chains too. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to New York, where we embark on a journey to understand how cutting-edge AI technologies are not just streamlining operations, but also pivotal in helping businesses stay competitive in this rapidly changing world. But enough from me. Let's get Darcy onto the show now. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Darcy. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me today. So I am the Chief Revenue Officer for the supply chain globally for SAP. And what that means is I have responsibility for the overall performance and financial results for the digital supply chain products, which we define them as everything from design to operate. So it's how do you design the products? How do you plan and schedule? How do you manufacture those? How do you transport those, logistics, and operate? And basically what it is my team is responsible for working with our clients to transform their supply chains. I have, by way of background, 25 years experience in the supply chain arena, and I've been at SAP for over 11 fantastic years.
Well, it's a huge pleasure to have you on the podcast with me today, especially because we are at that magical time of year where everyone's starting to think about life in a new year, work in a new year, and world-changing possibilities that may come with that. So, Darcy, can I ask you to share your insights on some of the emerging trends in AI that you're seeing that you think might significantly impact things like supply chain operations next year? And how do you foresee any advancements reshaping supply chain management? Because I think in recent years we've seen just how fragile that can be, but equally there's so many opportunities, isn't there?
Oh my goodness, it's huge. And you're right. The disruption has always been there, Neil, but the difference now from what's happening now from prior is, and we have these charted from the U.S. Census, is that now disruptions happen more frequently and they have a bigger impact to the overall supply chain. So regarding AI has the potential to significantly improve supply chain efficiency and resilience for businesses across various industries. So despite there's a lot of buzz and about Chat GPT, there's much more to AI than just open language models. So for example, supply chains are using machine learning algorithms to predict demand. They optimize inventory levels, they reduce waste, and overall they improve customer satisfaction. But there's also an increased emphasis on development of robotics, automate tasks. And that's everything from manufacturing to related to shipping and packaging. And it's all about increasing speed and efficiency. Now, the one area that we know we have a ton of interest in from our customers is the concept of generative AI. for automating, for example, high configurable products. And that's when you order something where there's a lot of different options. And we're talking potentially of line items. There's a process in place to help you tailor your orders. And within that process, there's a lot of opportunity for automation where you could potentially use a bot to form the bill of material for the automation. And then you have the ability to create larger, more richer data sets to engineer the order to process and take it through your entire organization. And that gives you the ability to scale. And that's just one aspect which we expect the technology to be able to evolve to.
And a few moments ago, you mentioned risk resilience there. So I'm curious, in your experience working with various industries, how have you seen companies successfully integrate AI into their supply chains to enhance risk resilience and ultimately prepare for any potential disruptions?
Yeah, we have seen a lot of surge in supply chain technologies to be used specifically as businesses strive to improve their visibility, their agility, and their risk resiliency in such a dynamic, uncertain environment as we talked about before. So specifically what AI will do for supply chain resiliency is take it to the next level. It will enhance organizations' ability to sense, recognize, and then react to the disruptions and new opportunities in very exciting ways. So because it has the ability to gather all this information so quickly and then make decisions that are really cost-effective, sustainable, and customer-centric, it really allows us to unlock this whole new level of resiliency with connected data, collaboration across the entire enterprise. So businesses really must ensure if they're doing this, though, the key is that the AI must be built in, it must be relevant, it must be reliable, and it must be responsible to make sure that it achieves the measurable business success outcomes that it's looking for. And because AI is integrated into every level of the supply chain network, it's really transformational technology that will unleash what I view as a hyper-predictive and efficient logistics organization and really revolutionizing the whole flow of goods from the factory floor to consumer hands. And it's even more important, Neil, when you're talking large and more complex supply chain, they're more vulnerable to these disruptions. And AI will help companies really be able to more easily understand these conditions, capture the data, analyze the data, and really optimize for the ideal delivery route. So just in short, this technology will help supply chains really make more informed and predictable decisions when the issue arises. So no matter what they're facing, they'll be prepared for it.
And there have been a few headlines recently around AI being used to optimize warehouse organization and logistics, etc. So I'm curious, what are some of the breakthroughs that you've witnessed in this area too?
Oh, there's so many to talk from. Why don't we start with really breakthroughs that have to do with our extended warehouse management solution. What we have introduced is the concept of what we call intelligent slotting, and that's the capability to use AI to suggest how to optimize warehouse operations as well as stock and replenishment processes. And it's based on the product's characteristics, the demand, or the forecast. Another exciting area is in transportation, where we announced for SAP customers, if you're in the automotive or manufacturing sectors, where you can really increase the accuracy of freight order deliveries by speeding up the manual checks of goods and receipts and delivery notes without requiring dedicated training documents or document templates. So to kind of help you visualize this, you've got huge semis stacked up in front of your factory. You're not sure which one to unload first. It could take hours. But now with generative AI, all you need to do, you don't need to pour through each document. You simply scan the document and the generative AI capability will pick that up. They'll be able to read the packing, the unpacking, and they'll figure out which truck you should unload first, and it will update everything into the system. So it's really pretty powerful and pretty exciting what it's able to do.
And something that we don't talk about enough is accuracy. And you mentioned it a moment ago, but accuracy in freight order deliveries in particular is crucial for supply chain efficiency. So with that in mind, how are you seeing AI contributing to improving accuracy? And also, what are some of the tangible benefits that you might have observed this year?
Oh, you're so accurate on that. It's all about the data. I mean, it was, I don't know how old garbage in, garbage out that saying is, but it's even more true now with the massive amounts of data. So what AI has the ability to do is that's what it does. It has an ability to analyze huge volumes of data, understand relationships, provide visibility into operations, and then support decision-making. So AI becomes instrumental in enabling a modern digital supply chain. And despite the fact that supply chains are becoming more complex and harder to manage, when you have AI embedded into supply chain management, it really has allowed what we've seen as early adopters of this technology to improve logistics costs by 15%, inventory levels 35%, service level improvement by 65%, compared to more slower moving competitors that don't see it. And it's really because it gives you improved visibility and faster insights. It really increases your production efficiency and streamlines things, and it detects code and logging guidance. So it's quite impressive what the capabilities and its ability to deliver these benefits, Neil.
And another complex aspect of supply chains, of course, is demand planning. So as we all plan and prepare for life in 2024, how do you think AI will transform demand planning forecasts? And also, what makes this technology essential for modern supply chain strategies, do you think?
Yeah, it is essential. We recently did a study with Oxford Economics, and what came out of that study is a couple key points. One of them was that, and it was by way of survey done with 1,000 supply chain executives, 10 different countries, 18 different industries. But what came out was that the majority of supply chain executives all view that they must adapt intelligent technologies like AI. And the majority of companies actually had plans in place to do so. In the specific area of demand planning, it's huge benefits. So as consumer companies are taking marketing data, they're taking promotion information, sellout data, weather now is involved, history, which isn't as important as it was as opposed to future, and the investments of these tens of thousands of data points all being fed into a machine learning model. And that gives them the ability to take all this massive amounts of data and create a forecast by country. So first of all, it decreases the time it takes to assemble all this information to create a better, more accurate, more detailed forecast, and then they manage by exceptions. And as studies have shown, it's more accurate, leave it alone. And now what I'm very excited about is the product that we've announced called Jewel, which is a generative AI assist, and that really will give you intelligent insights across the entire SAP portfolio, including procurement, supply chain operations, and it can assist in areas such as inventory management, forecasting demand, improving your delivery, and ensuring overall supply chain efficiency. So pretty exciting area overall.
And I have been seeing an increase in headlines around AI and ESG in supply chain. So I'm curious, how have you seen the growing demand for AI solutions focusing on ESG issues, particularly in supply chains? And if you have, how are you at SAP responding to this trend? Because it seems to be growing at a rapid rate at the moment.
Yeah. Part of that study I mentioned earlier, Oxford Economics, actually saw a correlation between leaders in the supply chain were also leaders in sustainability, so that the two go hand in hand. And so what SAP is seeing is really a greater demand as a business facing increased pressure to focus on sustainability. It's not just a tagline anymore. You have your regulatory bodies, you have your shareholders, you have your customers, and you have your employees, all want a sustainable company and a focus on ESG. So as business recognizes that the supply chain is a major contributor to their emissions, supply chain also has an opportunity, and I would also add a responsibility to measure and reduce their environmental impact. So an organization's supply chain can account for more than, wait for it, 90% of its greenhouse gas emissions. Huge number. So considering most of these emissions are generated through sourcing, spend management, it is one of the most effective areas that organizations have to drive supply chain sustainability. And then you have traceability as a key component for a risk-resilient supply chain. And our customers are facing increased pressures in the area of a transparent supply chain. Then you have regulatory requirements like the upcoming Supply Chain Due Diligence Act in Germany, which means business must take responsibility for the actions of all their partners in supply chain, both direct and indirect suppliers. And then SAP's business networks has solution for material traceability for our customers that can capture the details from raw materials to finished product to enhance safety and sustainability for all their customers' loyalty. So you can track the ingredients by component, by batch or serial number, which helps with the overall ESG goals. So there's a lot in this area, quite frankly, that we're doing. It's a very important area for SAP, not just because of our customers want it, but it's one of the key components that SAP as a technology provider in making the world a better place through technology. It's a very important thing to us as well as an organization.
And for business leaders listening to our conversation today around the world, we have their attention and have the opportunity to speak directly to them today. So can you expand on why it's so critical for them to invest in supply chain technology, particularly artificial intelligence, to maintain that competitive edge in their respective industries?
Yeah, it isn't a nice to have. The way the supply chain has been evolving. It's too big, it's too complex, it's too disrupted. A supply chain practitioner and a supply chain organization cannot really do their job unless they embrace AI as a technology. And AI is already the core of SAP's enterprise software, and it's consumed already by tens of thousands of SAP customers already. And for example, machine learning, analytics, and SAP AI business services, they're part of SAP's HANA and SAP S/4HANA products. So it's already available across our portfolio for customers to use. And just to get some key points of where we have it, because we're pretty proud of what we've been able to do, because it is such an important, what we think, requirement for companies. Our SAP Service Cloud, daily savings of 40 minutes per agent by automating 70% of the ticketing management process, combined by automating ticket classifications and solution recommendations, and using natural language processing. Sales order processing, saving 18 million euros per year for one customer by automating fill rates of 20 million fields per year. These are huge statistics. Can identify slow-moving stock. That could save 70% of stockouts for slow-moving, reducing inventory. Document exchange information, which uses HANA and also CX and Concur, decreasing time spent. So across the supply chain, in all our products, we see that's really, you must embrace it. If you don't, you will be left behind. You won't be meeting your customer needs. You won't be sustainable. You won't be cost effective. You won't be able to respond. So it really needs to be core of your supply chain strategy, has to have AI.
And last November, I don't think many people predicted the rise and mainstream adoption of Gen AI in 2023. It's incredibly hard to predict the future. But if I did ask you to gaze into my virtual crystal ball and look into beyond 2024, are there any predictions that you would make about the evolution of AI in supply management, where you see it heading, and also what challenges businesses might need to overcome to fully harness the potential of AI in this domain?
Yeah, I am so excited about this technology and the way that SAP has adopted it, right, to really be the leader by adoption by the year 2025. So if I were to say, in the future, generative AI assists will set new standards for responsiveness across the entire supply chain. So we will witness a proliferation of generative AI-driven digital assist across enterprise portfolios. And it's going to transform the way businesses run, because you're allowing the user to ask a question in plain language and receive the answer, contextualize the response. So for example, back to our example, when the company has a full yard of trucks and you don't know which trucks to upload, now a worker can just simply ask a generative AI to read the manifest, understand it, and tell which trucks to unload first. It asks any question. And these insights will lead to a plethora of improvements across the entire supply chain for faster deliveries to reduce costs and set a standard for the global market responsiveness and competitiveness. So that's what the future will have with AI. And the future is not that far away. It's here.
Absolutely love that. And I am conscious, though, today we've focused on technology, solving real-world problems in business and looking into the future. But before I let you go, I'd love to learn a little bit more about yourself and what enabled you to be able to have such a successful career. Because I think if we look back, none of us are able to achieve any degree of success without a little help along the way. So is there a particular person that you might be grateful towards who maybe saw something in you, invested in you, just spent a bit of time with you and helped you get you where you are today that we can give a little shout out to today? Because it's about that human element, isn't it, as much as the technology?
Yeah. Well, I'll have two people that I'll mention. The first one was my father, who was always such a big sponsor of me in general, of the art was possible, and was always my coach, confidant, and sponsor growing up. And throughout my career, he was that one trusted person that you could run by that had no agenda other than what was in my best interest and good sounding board. But specific to supply chain, where I really got my love for it and the best coaching was from a gentleman, Mitch Wesley. So he's sometimes known as the father of transportation. He formed several companies. He's a serial supply chain entrepreneur. He started with Wesley Software. He formed, which I was a part of, G-Law, which was sold to Oracle and ultimately became Oracle TMS. He's gone on to do multiple, but he was really the heart and soul of what made for good supply chain technology, specifically logistics is his area of expertise. He really helped me in understanding how you build a supply chain company, how you build good software, how you talk to supply chain practitioners in their language. And he really set me on for training me, helped me understand it, and really set me on my path. I still go to him periodically, even though, it's been a long time since I was at G-Law. But he's still part of my network. He's still part of my my journey, and we are close friends and confident to this day. So shout out to Mitch Wesley, whose most recent company was 3G TMS, which he, I believe, still sits on the board.
Oh, brilliant. Well, a quick shout out to your father and Mitch Wesley there. I think it's so important to recognise the people that play such a crucial role in our lives and our careers. And very often those people are blissfully unaware on the magnitude of that impact. So thank you for sharing that with me today. And finally, we've covered a lot in a short amount of time today, and SAP is a huge website. But for anyone listening wanting to explore the topic in more detail, where would you like to point everyone listening today?
Oh, simply go to the SAP webpage where you can find all the information, and all you'll have to do is search for digital supply chain or AI, and it will simply come up. And you can always reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to respond to you as well.
Awesome. Well, I'll add those links to the show notes so people can find you nice and easily. And as I said a few moments ago, we've learned so much today about the role of AI in supply chain technology, how it will expand in 2024, the increasing demand for AI tools focused on solving ESG issues in supply chains, and also how you've seen companies leverage AI to become more risk resilient in their supply chains. So much gold in there. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of great feedback and a few queries and questions along the way too. But just thank you so much for sharing that with me today, Darcy.
And thank you, Neil, for having me out today. I enjoyed our discussion.
And that concludes another episode of Tech Talks Daily. Huge thank you to Darcy MacClaren from SAP for sharing her insights into the rapidly evolving world of AI and supply chain technology. And I think Darcy's extensive experience and SAP's innovative approach have both shed light on the transformative power of AI in improving risk resilience, optimizing supply chains, and addressing ESG issues. And we did cover a significant impact of AI on demand forecasting too, the accuracy of freight deliveries and how intelligent technologies are actually driving efficiency and sustainability in our supply chains. And I was particularly interested in Darcy's discussion on the future of AI in supply management, particularly with generative AI assists. I think the entire conversation just gave us a little glimpse into a more efficient and responsive supply chain industry. So a special thank you to Darcy for sharing her insights today. If you've got anything you'd like to share with me today, please email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, just @NeilC.Hughes. And remember, in this dynamic world of technology, staying informed is key to navigating the waves of change. So hopefully you'll join me again tomorrow. We will tackle a completely different problem and shine a light on how technology is helping to resolve it too. But more than anything, just thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.